back with another episode. You know who it is. It's KG Money Grant. Who do I got to right of me?
Dunlap the Connect. What's going on, everybody?
And who do we got on the right of Dunlap the Connect?
Hi, I'm Jada, a.k.a. Millie.
Ooh. I love the AKA. Like, it just be the revelation of the personality behind the individual. Because they do it different every single time. So, why AKA Millie?
So, my senior year of college, often there's a lot of Jadas in the world.
Yeah.
And so I was...
especially in the black community.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I joined a professional fraternity, and there was a girl in the same group as me whose name was Jada, and then they were coming up with nicknames. And then, so my last name is Milligan, and then the first 5 letters are Millie.
Okay.
So, yeah, and as I was just becoming more myself throughout college, I felt like that really resonated, and a lot of people were calling me Millie, and I was like, I like that.
Well, hear me. I'm thinking, you know, I'm finna be out here catching a Millie. That's why they call me Millie. Like, my mindset on the money type joint. But no, that sounds great.
No, it's still the same thing, though.
Hey.
Same thing.
Yeah.
What was that song Lil Wayne did? A Millie.
Yes. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jada, tell us about you, per se, and your podcast, and why we are so excited to have you on the show. I've been talking about it, like, all day. I'm not going to lie.
You really have.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so, hi. My name is Jada. I recently launched a podcast in July called Creating a Village. You can follow us on Instagram at CAV_village. And so I started the podcast because I really value community, and just growing up, my community is constantly pouring into me. I'm constantly having conversations with people that just like life-changing advice. Of course, maybe in the moment I may not remember it, you know, but it's very valuable information. And so because of that, I was like, I would always be in the conversations and I'd be like, I should not be the only one hearing this advice. Other people should be able to hear it. And in April, my aunt had an accident, and my aunt is one of the people, she had a car accident. She's one of the people who is always pouring into me, and I've always been telling her she should be putting her information, like just her knowledge out into the world. And so because she had that accident, and it was like God send something came through the window, but it got stopped by the glass. And I was like, God is keeping you here for a reason. You need to start a podcast. I'm going to help you start a podcast so that we can get this moving along. And through like helping her start it, I was like, well, I can start one too. And yeah. And so Creating a Village is basically about having conversations with everyday people, having people just bring their input, and also just ask the questions that we want the answers to, that we may not know about, and then getting answers to questions we didn't even know we should have. So yeah.
So I guess my take is like, having seen the podcast already, like you would think you'll be getting like generic, cliche, like, you know, feedback on, you know, community, positivity. Because, I mean, after a certain point, like, it's the same message, but it has intricacies from the individual that's portraying, you know, their testimony or whatever.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, there are still intricate topics that you actually discuss that, even for me watching it, I was like, I haven't even thought about that, to the point where I know I can see myself applying these in my own life. So can you describe to the audience, like, what those questions and topics that you actually explore in your show reflect?
Yes. So one of our episodes, like, I was just talking with some of my high school friends, and they ended up talking about, like, 401ks.
I'm sorry.
No, that's real, because that's a complex, layered discussion. Like, it ain't just one, all right, let's talk about it for an hour, 30 minutes.
Yeah. And so, like, I've never had, like, a job. I usually, like, do, like, volunteer positions. And so I've heard of a 401k, but I didn't know what it was for, like, what it was about. And so because of that discussion, I was like, and also a part of the concept of the podcast is creating a resource environment. So we have a website, creatingavillage.co.
Plug.
So you can go there and like read up on the things that we talk about in the episodes. An episode that hasn't come out yet, though, my aunt was talking about insurance policies.
Mm-hmm.
She had a 60-term life insurance policy. She's never missed a payment date. She pays on time every single time, but she has outlived the policy. So her money is completely gone. She can do nothing with that. She can't put it towards a funeral.
What?
She can't. Exactly.
So wait. So where's the money go?
Ridiculous.
It goes to the insurance company.
What? Wait a minute. Let me tell y'all some insurance.
So you're supposed to be predicting how long you're supposed to live?
Exactly. But
What?
also, what the insurance company doesn't do is tell you that you can change your policy. You can, like, not renew it, but, turn it into something else and then still keep that money that you've been investing. But they didn't say anything to her until it was up.
You know what? That's
I know she was
shiesty on a
pissed.
whole nother level.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, insurance. You're supposed to be a savings account. Savings account means you stay put until I need you to be used.
Yeah.
If I'm still living for an insurance and I've been diligent on all my payments, that account is active and in reserve until I need it for my funeral or anything else.
Yeah.
Precisely.
You know what, America? I'm not even gonna get into it.
So with that being said, like when you created that episode, right? Why was it important for you to get that message off and teach the audience that?
Facts.
Because people don't know. Like, right now I'm around a lot of entrepreneurs, and so they're talking about life insurance as like being your own bank, making life insurance like your bank. But also when you go into things, a lot of times people are taught surface level information about stuff. So you get this term policy, but you don't know, like, oh, by this certain amount of time I have to pass or I can reevaluate it. So just like stuff like that, and it's about the everyday conversations we have. My aunt just happened to be telling me that. And so if someone else's aunt might have gone through it, but they don't have those conversations like with their family.
Right.
And so that's why it's really important, I feel, for you to know these things about everyday life. If you're about to grow up and you want to get an insurance policy, you should know that. If you want to go about, like, should I rent a home or should I buy a home? All those types of things that you should know about life. And even the little things like home, what was it called? A home warranty. My dad just talked about that to me because we had our AC unit like mess up. And he said, oh, I should have got a home warranty because then if it was like beyond repair, then they would have just replaced it for the subscription price that he pays a month versus we had so many people come in to look at it. And it was a very simple problem. The person who put it in didn't put the latch on correctly, so air was just going straight up into the attic.
Yeah.
But he spent so much money trying to get it fixed when a home insurance warranty people, they would have sent in their own people and had that all, like, solved.
Yeah, and that's a great topic because the question that can even be, asked in that type of discussion is how can you even tell what a credible home warranty company is versus scams and shit, because scams aren't just petty. Like, there are very high level scams where it may look like an insurance company that's actually, or a home warranty that's actually going to be, covering you, but when it comes down to it, you've been paying all this money, now something broke and they not covering what they said they're going to cover. They're trying to get more money out of you just because it's not the entity you thought it was. Like that alone, dang, that's great.
No, but you gotta also, and my bad, bro. I'm just like, that's why I'm like, I was so ready for this podcast.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, this is why this man has been so excited for this show.
She's been planting seeds that, like, I feel like young people in general are not trying to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why I was just like, I gotta have this conversation on the show.
Yeah.
If we don't do nothing else today.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I know recently you were flying across the world. Someone flew all the way down to South Florida to Miami. So can you tell us why you flew to Miami?
Yes. So with starting a podcast, of course, with starting any new venture, you want to be informed about what you're doing.
Facts.
So there is a man
Do your
called...
research.
Yes,
like
do your research.
ASMR?
Do your research.
Y'all are a mess.
I'm sorry.
It's the fact that a clip just came across my head. Do your research.
Right. I'm sorry.
Oh my
I hate
goodness.
ASMR. So crazy.
Yeah.
Thanks,
That's
but our fault. Go ahead. They crunching on the paper.
I was there. Do your research. ASMR Miami.
No, those are gonna be sound bites. Like, the next trending sound on Instagram.
For sure.
But tell us more about it, for real.
Oh, yes. So there's a man called David Shands. He has a podcast called Social Proof. And his message right now is that everyone should have a podcast. If not for like profit, just to become better speakers and just more informed.
I feel that, yeah.
And so he put on a conference called the Podcast Summit. And it was in Miami. It was a 2-day conference. And it was just mind blown. He had the opportunity to... Sorry, I realized I should be talking to y'all.
Nah, you talking
You
to
talk to the people too. We listening to you. We locked
I'm drawing in.
Right.
He allowed people to sign up to be an ambassador. And so to be an ambassador, all you had to do was just kind of like promote the summit. And you got to learn stuff like beforehand. He put us in a Telegram chat. We got to chat with each other a whole month before the conference.
Right.
And so we were like giving each other feedback, just talking about what we're doing and how we plan on doing things. So we get to the podcast summit because, I'm in the ambassador chat. I get to meet people already, know people already, and then meet up with them, talk with them about those things. And then the sessions were completely amazing. I will say this about the sessions, there were no fluff. Like, they were telling you all the insider secrets.
That's good to know.
There's one podcaster called, her name is Taha.
Taha.
I don't know how to spell Taha.
Yes. Her podcast is called Young and Profiting.
You said her podcast is called what?
Young and Profiting.
Okay.
And she is always within the top 10 of Apple Podcasts every single week.
Ooh.
Because she's understood, like, how to get downloads. And she says, so the reason, in order to, like, be in the top 10, you have to get a download every single day. Like, new subscribers every single day.
Okay.
It's either new download, one of them. And
both are amazing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's not like how many people are actually listening, it's how many new people you bring in.
Right, okay.
And so
Get my seat,
just
put my seatbelt on.
I'm trying to tell you, like, if y'all don't know what this is, these are gym drops. Catch up, because she's dropping them.
And they're
Honestly,
pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy.
I have to release it because I can't even hold it.
Her
It's
hand
too
kept
much
going
weight.
Stuck, actually.
Oh my
That's how many
gosh,
gyms
I
it is.
love that.
Yeah, you gotta drop the gems.
Yeah, and so just being able to network with people and like ask questions to people who are in the podcast space and are actually like doing it big.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a really great experience. I did pull up my notes just because. Yes.
And you were actually out there. You were able to actually record an episode out there, right?
Oh, yes. So, another perk of just being in the podcast summit, David put out podcast booths. I feel like there were like 10 of them.
That's
and
amazing.
so there were like these little frames, and he set up microphones, and so you could put your SD card into the mixer, so you could have your audio. You put up your own camera, and so you have your footage, and then you can record episodes with the people that you meet out there, people that you probably wouldn't have met otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I will say that's something about David. He's really about building community,
Yeah.
which is, like, I finally realized, you know how in life people ask you, oh, who do you look up to? I've never really had that person because I was like, oh, people are cool.
Yeah.
But I really look up to David. Like,
Okay.
That's so good job.
That's actually so real, though. They're like, that is so...
Yeah, like, people just be doing things. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's somebody you said you kind of look up to?
Mm-hmm. Like, what he does with the community, he just gives out so much for free. Like, he's not about just getting money or anything like that. He's like, if you want help, here, just come to the studio, come see this, come, like, he's just so open and free, and he builds such great communities.
But I think to add to that is, like, I feel like the reason you may look up to him is because that's what you're doing with your own platform. And you're trying to teach people how you could learn this 401k or how to put air in a tire. You know what I'm saying? Things people need to know.
No.
You know? Wait,
I'm sorry.
No,
No,
keep
that's
going.
going to be an episode. I forgot
The
that
air in
was
the
gonna
tire?
be. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Because
All
this
right.
is what happened.
Sneak peek.
my dad told me to go get air in the tires. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get air in the tires. I got air in the tires. The very next day, my tire is flat in the front. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because I just got air in the tire.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay. But funnily enough, though, I was supposed to go to a movie like that day, and he told me like an hour before because he was going somewhere. And luckily I canceled it because I was like, okay, focus. But we call like AAA and all this stuff to get a new tire, and long story short, the spare tire underneath the car is stuck because we don't have the thing to prop the car up. Yeah. Well, no. So.
Well, you have a spare tire under your car?
Yeah. So the car is a Sequoia.
Wait, that's the name of your car? Like that's the name you gave the car?
No.
Oh.
You know, like the Navigator.
I feel stupid. Please don't jump me in the comments right now.
No, I don't know cars either. Like, I kept calling it a Navigator for a really long time.
Well, I thought she said Sequoia.
It
did.
Oh.
It's a Toyota Sequoia.
I'm sorry. It's so many black names out here. I literally just thought I went to school with a Sequoia. I was like, oh.
Wait.
You know how people be naming their cars?
This the fact that that's actually true, too.
No, I could see that. Like, yo, that's actually really weird.
Please don't. Any Sequoias, I'm not trying to be funny.
Wait, I know a Sequoia.
That's what
I went to school with a Sequoia.
So I'm thinking she's like, so my car name is Sequoia and she has a tire under it. And I'm like, okay, for sure. Like, I'm trying to follow on, but it's actually like, that's the name of it. So Sequoias, shout out to you, man. You're named after a car part.
Sequoia is real cool, too. I should catch up with her.
But you were trying to build that process of like telling us about the tire.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. And so we call AAA. They can't get the tire. Then we have to like wait another day. And then we take the tire. But we get them to take the tire off the car. So if you don't have a spare tire, don't tell them you don't have a spare tire. Make them come but you have to have a jack to hold the car up.
That's what I was referring to, yeah.
Yeah. So you have to have a jack in order to hold the car up after they take the tire off. So we took the tire to like a tire shop and they couldn't find a hole in it. And so what was happening was whatever the little hole is that they use to put the air hole hose into, like something was stuck in it. And so it was letting air come out. Yeah. And so that's something like I wouldn't have even thought of. I thought I ran over something. But yeah, that was just really crazy because we were going through so much trying to get that tire, and I didn't miss, but I had to like make so many arrangements to get like rides for stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you knew that, you could have like probably dug it out or something. I don't know.
That's true. I mean, honestly, like every time I hear individuals such as yourself describe the things that you all actually experience in life and what goes into what you create, like for me personally, it just reveals that one, I'm around people that have like similar mindsets and are going towards the same goal and making sure that not just a certain type of information is out, but a diverse plethora of information is out to where it can be applied to anything. And like listening to you, it really reminded me and reveals to me like certain things in my life that I wouldn't have realized if you had not said it. Like, for example, when I was a kid, I hated public speaking. I despised it tremendously. But I could have fooled myself. I just be talking because when I get in front of people, I just zone out. I don't even think about it. I just look straight and just go off of what's on the dome. But I say that because it's like to hear, doing podcasts, you, from your own experience, somebody told you, everybody needs to have a podcast. We started this off an idea that this man had. Yeah. Like, I had my own podcast, but that just started off idea of, okay, I need to do better with public speaking, even though I hate it, and I would rather do it to where I can at least talk about things that I care about and relay my perspective, if that's the time that I have right now in the moment. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. For a moment, I didn't mean to cut you. I later was thinking to myself because I was like, "Am I even in the show right now, or am I just like watching it?" Because there's so many gems. I'm like, "Damn, my audience member." Let me type in. Good gem. Dang that. Good connect.
For sure, but like real talk, like that really like at least lets me know that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, because it's reminders like that of like, dang, I wasn't thinking that when I started this, or I wasn't thinking that I was going to end up in this position, but to see how everything else is being connected and know that the people you're looking up to is the same thing that we're trying to do, and the same type of energy we're trying to make consistent and broad, and it's like, we appreciate you for doing what you do, like, for real.
Oh my gosh.
With that, we have 4 or 5 more minutes of the show, so we're gonna do the Bucket List challenge a little bit differently. We're just gonna make all our 3 questions podcast related. Is that fine with you?
Yeah.
First question: what is something you want to do off your bucket list that deals with podcasting? Or what's one major goal that you want to mark off this year? That might be better.
Okay. So I want to have at least, like, I feel like 30 is a good number by the end of the year, because we're in, what are we in, August?
Yeah.
30.
I'm not good with dates, but yeah.
30 community members, like, consistent, or at least, like, checking in, like, subscribers.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of podcasting.
That's real.
Alrighty.
I guess my question would be, going back to the research statement you said, and also that second element of having genuine conversations pull out things that you may not have thought. So the question being, when it comes to how you're actually having these conversations and how you're going about doing your research, what does that look like when you're going from, okay, I'm doing this diligent research to understand this a little bit more, but I'm also in these genuine conversations, and this random information that came out is even depthening my knowledge even more than what I thought it was.
It's funny that you just said that, because yesterday I had a meeting with one of my team members. So starting the podcast, I was all over the place. Like, I knew what I wanted it to be, but you know, as you're working through it, things adjust, and you're like, oh, it'd be better this way. Yeah. And so I still want the podcast to be like genuine conversations. Like, we don't have to have a script or anything. But I recently met a man, like, through my mom. We were just in the store. And through the conversation, he was talking about, oh, this is a Kairos moment. And a Kairos moment is a God-ordained moment. Is like the things that only God could do. Like, we happened to meet him, and he just poured into us.
That is kind of heavy.
Oh, my God.
I never heard of that before.
Oh, my God.
And then he was talking about Chronos moments, which are the ones that we plan ourselves. The things that we try to control and, like, put on our calendar and things like that. And so as soon as he said Kairos moments, I was like, oh, that's what I want a segment to be. Because I was realizing, because I'm trying to inform people and teach them about things, I do have to have a structure to the podcast episodes.
Right.
And I was realizing with the first couple of episodes, we were talking about the things and they were coming up, but we weren't getting in depth with them in order for someone to walk away with something versus the question that we had ourselves.
So it's a nasty episode, bro.
No,
it's so good.
I'm learning a lot. Kairos moment.
So what I plan to do is have different segments. I'm not sure if I'm going to, like, put it on the podcast platforms or if it's going to be, like, on Instagram or on our website strictly. But I'm going to have the Kairos moments and then also the structured episodes. I plan on having themes for the month. So if you become a part of the community, you can suggest themes and things that you want to know about so that I can plan for them and research them for you and inform you about what you need to know.
Sure. Yes. And real quick, last final question, real quick. If you had one podcast guest, who would it be and where would it be?
Whoa, no, I can't.
All right.
It's too difficult, too many opportunities.
No, yes. That was something I was supposed to research, like my 5 dream guests, and I can't even fathom right now.
They're limitless.
No, that's real though.
Yes.
Well, I guess with that being said,
how would you like to make an impact in your community outside of podcasting?
Boom.
Oh, okay. So one of my main purposes for the podcast is to funnel into a community center. And I want this community center to, like, start in Atlanta. It'll be technical skills. And then, go out to other states and places and internationally and globally and stuff. Okay.
So.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, like, we can keep going all day, but I think that's enough content to where everybody has to take tidbits and actually sit down and let it process. After you let it process, come back and comment on the show and give Jada her love.
And join her community. With that being said, I'm KG Money Green.
I'm Done Let Duck Connect.
And where can they find you, Jada?
You can find me on CAV_village on Instagram. And you can find our community at creatingavillage.co, which is CO. And, yeah. Bye. Thank you.
And it's the bucket list. Always remember, you only live once, make an impact now, and do something off our bucket list. Make sure you follow all of us. And boom.
Period.
See you later.
Peace.